Hello and welcome to this Good Vibrations reading for the week of November 5th, 2017. So I do apologize. There's some mulching going on next door that of course started right as I sat down. So this all plays into the message you see. Our Sabian symbol for this week is Cancer 21. A famous singer is proving her virtuosity during an operatic performance. So, even amidst various interruptions in our day, we still can sing our song. I will not be held inside my house until this person is done doing their mulching. I can see them from here, and yet I sit here and I give this message no matter what. I don't really care if people think I'm crazy sitting out here in the fall talking to a camera. I don't really care when people pull up the driveway and they're kind of looking and sometimes they beep, and I just carry on. And certainly it's really struck me lately that I'm very sensitive to how people perceive me. And this is kind of, I think, a hurdle that I'm beginning to get over. I don't want any of you listening, to think that I have this all figured out. And I hope that I never appear that way in how I deliver messages to, or in my private card readings or astrology or any of the rest of the work that I do. Because I'm right alongside you. Each one of us is this famous singer. We all have our song to sing. And we're all trying our best. Okay? So I'm not above anybody else. I haven't figured it out more than anybody else, but I am coming to a place where I think I know the tune that is my song. And even with the on and off and the change in the pace of my life, and it changes on a daily basis. I mean, some days you wake up, right, and you feel sort of like down in the dumps, or you just feel like, I don't know what my problem is. I feel like I have a dark cloud over my head. And I'm right there with you on every bit of that. So I'm just feeling called to say that in this video this week, that please don't ever take it that, I have this knowledge and that I've figured it out, or, I want you to know that I'm walking step by step and stumbling and trying to get clarity alongside everybody else. But it is, what I can say is, it's incredibly empowering when you get to a point where you really have an idea about what is your song. You really begin to have an understanding come forth within you of how you want to govern your life, of the principles you want to use to set up your life. That's kind of what I was referencing in the reading called Setting Up Your Shop from last week. I really have taken that seriously this past week, in really wanting to get clear, in not letting, like in the instance of this mulching, it's a silly example, but to not let my momentum get upset by outside influences that are always coming at all of us all the time. I'm really trying to keep my steady in knowing that in any given moment, it's all right. We're okay. There is far more going right in my life than anything going wrong. And the more I have truly embraced that knowing within me, then the more life has shown me the good things that I have that are always coming to me. And so I really turn now at this point and start walking my path. And that's what I feel like this Cancer 21 symbol is speaking to. Is it's time to just stand up and sing your song. It's not a time of lamenting what has been She's proving her virtuosity during an operatic performance. And the reference to opera is that sort of more traditional, true voice. It takes incredible practice from each one of us to get to a place of owning what is the song that we sing. And knowing, too, that there's incredible power in the fact that you can select. You can choose what you want that song to be. For me, I have chosen that it's the song Blue Skies. That has come to me over and over and over again. And I now have posted the lyrics a couple of times. I just really feel that that's it. That's where I'm looking. And so no matter what happens on any given day, you wake up and it's cloudy or it's stormy, or you're on your fifth day in a row of cloudiness, or there's junk stirred up at work, or people seem off their game, or I feel off my game, or whatever. I just always stop and I'm like, but wait, there are blue skies behind there. Always. Always. There is never a day that it's not there. So it's up to you, whatever your song is that you're going to sing this week. I feel like these cards are going to point to that message, okay? And as a bonus for each card, what I did is I dowsed with my pendulum and a chart that I have that's called Beneficial Emotions or Behaviors. And I found a keyword, a key term for each of us to think about this week in conjunction with your card message, okay? So let's get started here. First up is the Healing with the Fairies deck. So again, we're singing our song, we're finding, we're selecting. Think about operatic performance. There is a selection process that happens where, there is specialty that these singers bring to their craft. So there's just careful selection and practice. That feels important for this week. And you have quiet time shows up. All right, so in finding your tune this week, it is important to take the time. I feel it in the energy. I feel very, very calm and wanting to be very quiet in this reading. It is important for you to take some time out this week and to really think about this concept of how you sing your song and what song it is even that you sing. Because what I feel is there's a serenity too that will come forward. Your word that came forward when I did the dowsing for your card was humor. So that tells me that the song that you sing has something to do with adding humor to your life and to the life of people around you. And it is incredible how beneficial humor can be, because we're living in times that are very dense. It's the best word I can find for it. There's a lot going on. There's people trying to figure out, how do we make things happen? How do we change this? I don't like how this is going, or some people do like how it's going, and it almost feels like the world is at odds with itself. And all of this is really heavy. It's really heavy. And I just asked the question, I asked this of myself as well. How is it serving you to be involved in all of that heaviness? Are you making a dent in what you're hoping to change by being really down in that very dense place? If it is serving you, great. But if it's not, and you feel like you're still slogging through molasses, then I feel for you, humor is your key word. Humor is what will bring you this sense of that's the song you sing, is bringing a lightness. But to get there, you're going to need some quiet time this week. This doesn't have to necessarily be meditation. It can be just time, particularly alone, without all of the distractions, like the guy mulching. Now has stopped. It's probably only a matter of time before it starts up again. So, it's having time without some of the distractions so that you can get a steady on this. You can find your way to humor in whatever is sort of picking at you. Because I do feel this week it's about finding your calm, singing your song, even in the midst of constant distraction that keeps coming up. And the song that you sing is, the gift of it is humor. But you're going to need some time away from all the distractions. And even if that's some time in the morning or some time at the end of the day, I personally find for me both in the morning and the evening. We have this wonderful new puff on our bed, and it has a duvet cover, so we don't have the distraction of a sheet, which ends up getting wrapped all around us, and then it gets untucked, and we're just like, it causes more frustration than it's worth. And we're just both, Chris and I are just loving it, and the kitties love it because it's so puffy. And they're flannel sheets, and there's just something, I call it my snuggle time with my God self. It's very sacred time, and it feels really silly, but I just really luxuriate in the feel of those sheets and the quiet. And I kind of build this little nest around me with my pillows. And I just ask my God self, what do you want me to know? What do you want me to see? How does that bigger part of me want to broaden my vision? Or how do I get closer to singing my song in a practiced and clear way? Little silly times like that. That's where humor comes into your message here. The silliness of finding quiet times. It doesn't have to be a half hour, an hour of meditation and you're sitting just so and you have your fingers just so and all of that with the perfect candles and the perfect crystals, and you can keep it lighter than that. But finding your quiet time will help you to get closer to this vibration that is clear and steady so that you can sing your song. So, in essence, the message isn't so much about what is your song, because I can't articulate that in a general reading like this. And even with a card reading, I might be able to get close to it, but really, the uniqueness of every individual is so important at this time that we are in. And I want nothing more than for you to shine that and for you to find that. And that's why how my Blue Sky song, Blue Skies, plays into me in this role that I have as a messenger, as somebody who I just want to inspire you to find whatever it is that makes you so unique. And I love the word weird because we need more weird in this world to offer more options. So that's the beauty of singing your own song and enjoying the journey in finding your way to that song. And mine, certainly, your song can change over time too. Mine probably won't be Blue Skies forever, but for right now it really works for me, because it speaks to everything that I want to do and be and have in my life. It's a feeling of wholeness, of completeness and contentment. And so what I'm asking for you is for you to find the time this week to have some calm serenity moments, and perhaps they make them silly. Bring in humor. Sometimes listening to funny movies or songs or videos or whatever can also get you there. It's all about raising up your vibration and getting you out of the density, because then you can be more true to your uniqueness instead of hopping on the train with everybody else and adding to this very dense energy that I question whether we're really getting anywhere with that. Okay? The second card is from the Angel Tarot by Doreen Virtue. Ooh, Major Arcana card, Renewal. This is a biggie for those of you that chose this card. Archangel Jeremiel, review and evaluate a favorable assessment of the facts. Time to move in a new direction. So this is a major transition point for sure. Your keyword that I dowsed for was the word optimism. So that's like what I'm seeing here is, it's like that's your lighthouse beam, is optimism, is knowing that there is always this lighthouse out there and the light comes around, and keep in mind, it is always spinning around. Okay, it's kind of like the Wheel of Fortune in the tarot deck, and this is core to life on Earth. The light spins around, so you only see the beam for a certain period of time, and then it's sweeping the rest of the landscape. And what I get a sense of is that we're all being juiced up. We all have opportunities to find optimism in our daily life. And there is equal opportunity for that. That is why I'm seeing the sweeping image. And when you're in the light, the energy is ultra powerful for you. But understand that sweeping is happening, and all these other people are receiving cause for optimism at the same time. So what a gift that is. So to take that and understand that in finding your way to your song, you are in a period right now that you are completely renewing. You are having a change of song. I didn't douse, because that's how I always figure out which one of these cards is for me. This has got to be my card, because the reason I'm even bringing up singing your song, not only with the symbol, but this is so present for me right now. Like, I'm in a shift right now. And so your song is changing. So what is it changing to? Is it changing to something that is more classical in nature? Is it changing to a really fun 70s song? Is it changing to country? Is it changing to a love song? Is there sadness in it? There's no bad or wrong choice here. But understand that you are in the midst of a tremendous shift that is coming, because remember, this symbol is Cancer 21. Cancer is the most nurturing of all the zodiac signs. It's like the great mother of the zodiac. It is a water sign, so it has to do with our emotional self, and particularly that part of us that we nurture ourselves and others. But at this very evolved degree, Cancer 21, there's only 30 degrees within each sign. This is more when you get up into those levels of Cancer energy. This is about you being able to better nurture others because you nurture yourself first. And this is what I think the shift is. And Cancer 21, 2 plus 1 is 3. This is about how you express it too. 3 is expression energy, communication. So just like, I say this a lot, but on an airplane, when they talk about the oxygen mask falling down out of the ceiling, you got to put it on yourself first, and then you help others. But I feel this is the shift that you are going into. It's a more optimistic time for you. You've been down in the muck. You've perhaps been doing for others. You've been, standing on the sidelines and watching that lighthouse sweep by, and then when it sweeps by you, you're over helping somebody else, so you're not even in the light beam. So I really do feel like this, you're shifting into finding your new song to sing. The famous singer, that's you. You're shifting into a new song to sing that has to do with you being in that light, that has to do with your optimism. It's really not about other people. And this card of renewal is always a time of action that is driven from within. This is a major inspired action kind of a card, and is the major transition point within the major arcana. This is a time of awakening, and then the Fool that goes through this journey of the major arcana goes into the places of finding a more balanced way of living, and then having the whole world available to him, because those are the next parts of the journey after this. So just be aware, you're in this transition portion of a journey. You're likely changing the meaning, the content of the song that you're going to sing, but bring awareness to what is that song like, and understand that you can, this is a time when you can shape it, you can select it, and then you can very carefully practice, just like an operatic famous opera singer practices so diligently and receives training and is open to receiving all the messages, i.e. training, that is coming in, and really finely tuning, literally, her craft. So selecting now for you is important. What is the song you want to sing? Or if you like it better, how do you want to create your shop, like from last week? That concept ties in this week as well. We have a time of being able to select and to not be knocked off our steady. We're getting more solid, 2 feet on the ground, moving through situations, and just finding a core strength within us that is new. It's ready to come up. It's been there, but we're uncovering it. And the other thing with you is that when that lighthouse, the light sweeps around, take advantage of the time when you feel that you're in the light. You know you will be in the light because you feel optimistic. You see the many choices. You celebrate the times also when the light is sweeping everybody else. Everybody has their times of optimism, and everybody deserves to have time to shine in the light, including you. And now is your time. All right. The third card is from the Radiant Tarot deck. So this is the traditional tarot. And this is the King of Swords comes up. So the sword suit within the tarot is about mentality. It is about clear mentality in how you think about your life and move forward in making decisions. It's words like clear thinking, intellectual power, authority, and truth. And when I dowsed, your key term in all of this message is consideration. So I feel like you are in a place where you're really contemplative this week, or that's the guidance for you. Taking the time to savor the contemplation, to consider the many options you have available to you, in being more intentional in singing, in selecting first of all, and then beginning to sing your song, and understanding all of us are at different parts of this process. Some people have been singing their song and they're so well practiced, and they're moving on ahead. They keep singing their song. There are some people, I'm one of these, I'm in the middle of I'm shifting, and I have selected the song, And now I'm moving into practicing singing it, and it's bumpy. And every day brings me new, wonderful, expected challenge. You know, this is life on earth. Welcome to life on earth. And every time I rub up against somebody and it feels a little scratchy, it's kind of like the opera singer. She has days that she wakes up and her vocal cords are really not in shape, or she's learning to hit on these notes with a different kind of a resonance than she's ever worked at before. That's where I feel like I'm at. And then there are people, and this is where I feel that you're at. You're right. There's almost, I feel, discontent is not really the word. It's kind of a frustration with, I'm just so done with that. I'm just so done with singing that song. I'm tired of it. And I want to shift, but I don't know to where yet. And that actually is the most critical piece in this process. Consider we're going round and round all the time. Everybody's changing in every moment. Everybody's either singing, these different phases that I described about singing your song. Some people are singing more than one song at once, so you're not sure what day is this. Are you singing a love song or are you on country today? So we're all, there's so much shift going on every single day. But the best that we can do is to try to just get clear on our own song and to sing it as consistently and in as practiced a way as we can, and giving ourselves the compassion to continue to hone our craft around that song. It is a continual journey. We're never really done, and we're not supposed to be done. We're experimenting always for the pure experience of life here on this planet. And so you're in that critical phase. I feel this is the most important of the phases, where you are, there's just discontent is not the word. It's like gosh, it's right there. It's you're done with it. That's what I keep seeing, somebody that's just like turning away and pushing it. You're just like sick of it. You're sick of singing that song, and you somehow feel stuck in singing that song. And so it's the awareness that that's where you are. We are where we are. And there is great benefit in just acknowledging that. And in then saying, giving yourself the power to say, I don't want to sing that song anymore. Period. And now I'm looking ahead. And this week, what the King of Swords and the word consideration tell me is this is the most fabulous time of all. It is such a beautiful time of creation where you just sit quietly and you look at all the pieces and parts of your life, and you kind of take an inventory of, is this really going in the direction that I want it to go? Am I feeling the feelings? Because remember, we're dealing with Cancer as our symbol. Feeling, the emotional self. Is the way I'm feeling about these parts of my life the way I want to feel? And if not, the King of Swords says, this guy, that's about changing your mentality. It's about changing the way you think about those parts of your life that you want to change. This is, for you this week, it's about shifting of mentality in order to bring about a greater, more positive, more satisfying feeling within you. Because really, we are feeling beings, and then the feeling and the sustained feeling is what then attracts other things into your path that are of that like vibration. That's the way energy works, whether we like it or not. So where your thoughts and especially your emotional self is pointed, you want to be sure you want to be sure you're singing the song of what you want. Not, and I already sense that you're just so done. I wish I could come up with the word. Probably as soon as I turn the camera off, it'll come to me. But there's just you're just not satisfied. It's total dissatisfaction with singing that old song. It's worn out. You know it so well that you can sing it in your sleep. You don't need any more voice lessons. You don't need to learn about the certain inflection or getting the right tones on certain notes. You know it. You've been singing it a long time. And it just, there's no passion that's left to that anymore. So that's the good news moment. You now have the opportunity with the King of Swords at your beck and call. That is energy available to you. Clear thinking, intellectual power, authority, and finding your truth. Because you have changed from the time that you started singing that old song. You've now changed. That's what this energy is indicating to me. And when you stop feeling the passion for certain parts of your life or all of your life, it's time to sing a new song. But the beauty is in the selection of the song. And then you start getting into the practicing of the song, like, oh, and you might be a little shaky at first. But the really fun part is in selecting it. And from my readings, I talk about I weave like a story in order to try to bring a concept across. But it can actually be helpful to think about an actual song. What are the lyrics that call to you? Does harmony within a song really speak to you? Does a certain style of music really speak to you? Is there a certain song particularly that emotes a feeling within you that you can't deny? It's so strong. So all of those things, and considering your song, what is that new song? And all of those elements play into it, and they serve as a guiding light for you. They're like just something on the horizon that you can keep pointing your vision at. You can keep looking in that direction and feeling the feeling that brings up in you. Like me with choosing the song Blue Skies. There is a feeling that comes up in me when I hear, and there's all different versions. That's the other thing to consider in selecting your song. There's all different versions available. So then each time you listen, you hear something a little different, and I kind of like that. That points to the fact that don't feel like you're really locked down in selecting. See, that's where I can already feel some resistance with some of you that chose this. But I don't want one song. Understand there's every kind of interpretation of the song. And you might take it and I hope you do. That's the point of this reading. You make it your own. You make it unique, because as you create unique ways of going at parts of your life, you create more options for all the rest of us that we can all benefit from. This is the age of Aquarius. It is the time of making new connections that nobody else has made before, ever. And all the options are out on the table. So being your one weird, wild self is what's called for here. Okay? There we go, everybody. I really look forward to, I hope some of you share what your song is. If you are singing it loud and clear, and you have been and you're loving it, share it. If you are like me and you're transitioning, you've selected the song, but you feel like you're just getting transitioned into it and you're practicing it, share it. I would love to hear that. And for those of you in that magical place of selecting, that is just, I dare say I am envious of that part of the journey, because it is the most exciting. It's where you have all your creator power available to you. So what are you thinking about? What are you contemplating about? And then as you're edging towards, are there certain songs that you're gravitating towards? And what's that process like? I would love if anybody wants to share on that, and if not, that's okay too. It's all good, but enjoy the journey of singing your song, because we need your voice. We need your one clear, true voice that is unique to you, because that is really what makes the magic on this planet, is individuals singing their one true song.